Hi, this is Kirk, the Bariatric Carnivore. Well, let's talk a little bit about doctors and some of their holier-than-thou-art nonsense that they're going through right now, attacking the Make America Healthy movement, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Trump, the whole nine yards. And this is the thing you got to realize about doctors. Doctors are, for the most part, pretty darn liberal as a group. When you do surveys of them, and I've worked with enough of them, that they generally lie left of the major political spectrum. Because look, frankly, in order to become a doctor, you've got to have some sort of education. And guess what? They're indoctrinating anybody that's going to a university in woke stuff. And the medical schools are doing a lot of woke stuff. So they are definitely on the left end of the spectrum. And add to that the training that they get, particularly in this era of post-evidence-based medicine, is that, well, if there's not a study for it, then it doesn't count. And the problem with that is a self-fulfilling prophecy. That's what gets your head stuck way up your ass, because you're not looking around at reality. And they're not. They're looking at studies, but the problem is the only people that fund studies is Big Pharma. So therefore, the only tool they have is more pharmaceuticals. They do not look at lifestyle because nobody's funding studies on what type of lifestyle interventions actually work. And there are enough, evidence-based enough to show that the low-carb lifestyle gets rid of a host of chronic diseases. And on top of that, if they would ask their patients, because look, frankly, a good teacher learns as much from his students as he does from the other stuff that they've learned. And physicians should be listening to their patients that are making positive lifestyle changes, asking them what they're doing. That's how they used to know stuff. They would be looking at, when one person comes in and has lost weight and is off their type 2 diabetes medicine, okay, that's interesting. When several people have done it, wow. Now, Verta Health has got evidence that shows thousands of people have reversed their type 2 diabetes going to a low-carb ketogenic diet. That's evidence, guys. The problem is it's not from Harvard. It's not in your journals, which are bought and paid for by Big Pharma. And as a result, you're keeping your head up your ass and you're ignoring what most people are starting to figure out for themselves. You guys are full of shit. You just are. Sorry, you're not paying attention to reality. And frankly, since COVID, when was the last few years, we've been gaslighted like crazy, particularly on health-related issues. I mean, everybody I know knew that masks were completely ineffective. Yet you guys crammed them on us whenever we went to a hospital facility, when you let us in there. Not because they were, there was any evidence that showed that they were effective, but because of federal mandates, and your hospital got more money if they followed the federal mandate. That's what it was all about. It was about money and control and not evidence. But you guys went along with it. Guess what you lost? Trust. You're now down to less than 40% trust from the American public. People think the last place you want to go to get healthy is their doctor. And I don't think they're wrong, because all you guys know how to do is push pills. And as a result, our health is declining. We have more people with chronic diseases like type 2 diabetes, heart disease, cancers, etc., than at any time in this planet's history. Why? Is it because you have done a great job of helping everybody's health? I don't think so. We've been dumping more money into this. It's not a lack of money. It's the system itself, and you guys, because you keep your head up your ass. That's it. And as a result, you're losing to healthcare influencers, people that are putting out videos. You're losing out to everybody out there that's actually making a difference and wants to help. And you can sit there in your little ivory towers all you want, wearing your white lab coats, saying you got to trust us. Well, we're not trusting you anymore. It's down to less than 40% and dropping. And that does not mean to say that I think that everything that you guys do is wrong. I think, the American medical system, as far as acute emergency stuff, is the best in the planet. I mean, I had a blood clot in my lungs back in April. Serious emergency. It kills a third of the people that it afflicts. It needed to be taken care of. And I went to a physician-owned hospital because, for that very reason, because they are great at an acute thing. Did I care about them? I mean, what did they do? After they take care of the emergency, the first thing they wanted to do was put me on a statin. Why? There was no reason. Absolutely idiotic. And I see this type of stuff all the time, and this is why faith in the medical system is just dropping. So please, do me a favor. If you're not going to solve the problem, and you've proven that you cannot solve the problem with your current woke agenda, and frankly, keep in mind, a doctor, a younger doctor right now has gone to probably a top tier university, which means they've been indoctrinated in liberal thought. More and more medical schools are pushing a DEI woke type agenda. And they, are really into all this liberal ideology. And as a result, they're getting out of touch. They're like the Kamala Harris of formerly trusted professions. That's just the reality of where we are right now. So please, just get out of the way and realize that there are a lot of people trying to get healthy and are not going to put up with your nonsense anymore. Frankly, you've pretty much lost us. And if you don't want to lose all your future patients, because frankly, all you've become is a bunch of pill pushers. You're following mindlessly algorithms because you cannot think for yourselves, because you're not working for yourself. You work for major corporations, so you got to follow this stuff. Guess what's going to replace you? Computers, because they can follow the algorithm better than you can. And you don't even look at your patients, and you don't give them any hope and any ideas on how to change their lifestyle to make themselves healthy. And as a result, we're going off somewhere else. That's why this Make America Healthy thing has taken off. When look at the link, with RFK when he spoke at the Trump rally, and they unveiled the Make America Healthy initiative, and a bunch of normal people went nuts. They were jumping up and down, screaming, really excited. Why? Because finally somebody is pointing out the obvious. The emperor's got no clothes. You guys are not making people healthy. And we've had it. And we want to get control of this stuff. Frankly, a lot of us are starting to realize, what? Putting fluoride in the water is probably a bad idea. You know what? Inflicting this many vaccinations on young children, probably not a good idea. You know what? We saw with certainty the COVID vaccination was probably a really bad idea, especially on young kids, especially on young males. You think they're going to forget that anytime soon? That you guys, and then you stuck us with these masks without any evidence, and you shut down the country? Public health has lost, there's no confidence in public health with the vast majority of Americans. And 60% of them don't trust you as doctors and hospitals anymore either. So get used to it. There's a new sheriff in town, things are changing, And frankly, you ought to listen while there's time. Listen to what the movement is talking about. I know RFK Jr. is not a doctor. I know he's a lawyer, and you hate lawyers. But frankly, there's a lot of people out there that have been doing their own research for a long time and have been able to figure out a lot of stuff on how to make themselves healthy. They're losing weight. They're no longer type 2 diabetics. Start looking at companies like Verta Health, which has turned around the lives of thousands of people who are no longer insulin type 2 diabetics, but have gotten clear of that stuff and all the complications, and they're going to be able to keep their limbs, and they're going to keep their eyesight because they didn't listen to you. That's the reality. They didn't listen to you, they didn't listen to your recommendations, and they're going to stay healthy. That should be a kick in the balls. It really should. So start paying attention to this stuff. This is Kirk, the Bariatric Carnivore. If you like this message, please hit the like and subscribe. Join this channel of other like-minded people who are trying desperately to make a difference in their health and to take control because the damn system is psychopathic and won't do it for you. You have to figure this stuff out for yourself. Try to put out a couple messages each week. I will talk to you again soon.